News Panorama is a TV news magazine program that gives you the story behind the story.
It tells the stories the way they should be told, by capturing the larger scale.
It deals with people's deep feelings on issues that, when brought to the fore, ultimately educates, informs and entertains.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
A week packed of governmental activities, inauguration of the 10th Assembly, the Cross River State Governor's inspection to erosion site, partnership to curb insecurity and more. I am Josephine Efanga.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
If you have just tuned in, you are watching News Panorama. The Cross River State House of Assembly has inaugurated the 10th legislature following a proclamation from the governor, Prince Bassey Edet. Esina Wanekanam was there. The report.
The 10th legislature of the Cross River State House of Assembly has been inaugurated with the member representing Ecom 2, Mr. Elvet Ayambem, emerging as Speaker. Mr. Ayambem, who emerged through voting, was nominated by the member for Etung, Mr. Kingsley Ntui, seconded by the member for Bakassi, Mr. Prince Bassey Edet. The member representing Obudu, Dr. Sylvester Agabi, was sworn in as Deputy Speaker and was nominated by the members for Calabar Municipality, Mr. Stanley Semo, and Buki 1, Mr. Philip Bete Obi. In a goodwill message, the Governor, Prince Bassey Edet, represented by the Deputy Governor, Mr. Peter Odey, declared the 10th Assembly open while wishing the House a fruitful assembly.
On behalf of Prince Bassey Edet the Excellency Governor of Cross River State, hereby declare the 10th Assembly open.
Presenting the Governor's proclamation for the first sitting of the 10th Assembly, the Clerk of House, Mr. Akabisong Adie, said Section 105, subsection 1 and 3 empowers the Governor to issue a proclamation for the first sitting of the legislature, making it necessary and convenient for the House to be convened.
Whereas Section 105, sub 1 and 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 provides that the person elected as the governor of the state shall issue a proclamation for the holding of the first session of the House of Assembly of the state immediately after his being sworn in. Whereas the swearing in took place on the 29th day of May 2023. Whereas it is expedient and necessary that the House of Assembly of Cross River State be convened. Now therefore, I, Senator Prince Bassey Edet, Governor of Cross River State of Nigeria, in exercise of the powers conferred on me by Section 105, Sub 1 and 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and all other powers enabling me in that behalf, do hereby issue this proclamation that the first session of the House of Assembly of Cross River State shall hold on the 18th day of June 2023 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon at the Cross River State House of Assembly, Calabar.
In a remark, the Speaker, Mr. Elvet Ayambem, noted that the 10th Assembly, which is tagged the People's Assembly, will make the state proud while lauding Governor Otu for his benevolence. He promised a conducive environment for members to carry out their legislative duties as well as ensure the state laws are reviewed to cater for everyday realities in the state.
Drawing from my all-time most motivating scripture in Philippians 4:13, which stipulates I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. I remember with nostalgia my journey to this day. Not much of hard work, but the fine grace of God that spotted me at the lowest ebb, where the certainty of next meal was much more phantom than its possibility. I will forever be grateful to the gallantry determination of my parents, who strive to ensure our economic realities did not define our future. In those institutions lie resilience and pioneering efforts of our forebears, which we must, as an assembly, work to reposition. With reputable stakeholders, we will, in this joint task, work to return public education and healthcare in our state to its era of glory.
Other members that make up the leadership sent in by the APC and PDP are Mr. Francis Asukwo, Majority Leader, Dr. Davis Etta, Deputy Majority Leader, Mr. Hilary Bisong, Majority Chief Whip, and Mr. Linus Atem, Deputy Majority Chief Whip. Others are Samuel Abang, Minority Leader, Rita Anyam, Deputy Minority Leader, Omang Charles Omang as Minority Chief Whip, while Dr. Martins Achadu is a Deputy Minority Chief Whip. These members have their say on how they will impact on their constituencies.
I'm going to put on my best in the legislative business to partner very effectively with the executive arm of government to see how we can transform our local government from a rural-based local government to an urban center. I'm worried about the aspect of capital flight. We own a border with the international community, that is Cameroon, but that which is supposed to be transformed to an economic benefit to my people, I don't see it. We want to try as much as possible to see how we can cause our local government to be an independent local government.
I give you a good key, that education, we are not going to sleep on it. Security, we will not sleep on it. Agriculture, we are not going to sleep on it. Human development, that is going as slow as our market women, to make sure we can make them have a better table market. We are also not going to sleep on it.
Emmanuel Bisang for CRBC News Panorama.
In response to the Cross River State's governor's speech on how to curb insecurity in the state, the Cross River State 10th Assembly has promised to support Governor Bassey Edet to fight and reduce insecurity in the state to the barest minimum. Isaac Daniel filed in the report.
On May 29 at the UGS Renner Stadium, the governor of Cross River State, Senator Prince Bassey Edet, in his inaugural speech, promised to fight the issues of insecurity in the state. While on June 13, 2023, 25 lawmakers were sworn in as members of the Cross River State 10th Assembly, with the member representing Ikom 2, Mr. Elvet Ayambem, emerging as Speaker, and the member representing Obudu, Mr. Sylvester Agabi, as Deputy Speaker to support the governor to pilot the affairs of the state. The Deputy Speaker, Mr. Sylvester Agabi, and the Leader of the House, Mr. Francis Asukwo, said with the power conferred them, they will ensure that the state enjoys peace.
Whatever vehicles or political persuasions facilitated our communities this far must at this point lose its relevance to the bipartisan conversation of a greater Cross River State. This is to emphasize that our membership of the 10th legislature must not be lost on the realities of times. Hunger, insecurity, underdevelopment, unemployment, and weak institutions, respect on political alignment. This is the reason this assembly must overlook political differences, give priority to Project Cross River State, where everyone finds what will be more than putting food on our tables to guide our growth trajectory towards what is sustainable and profitable.
If you were in the stadium on the 29th of May, the governor made it clear that the window for amnesty is still open for those who are into one criminal things of the honor should surrender. If you are not, they should pack up the state. And that he have reaffirmed it, even as of 2 days ago when he has a meeting with us, they have still affirmed it. So for those, I also joined the governor to also warn that the window of amnesty is still open for those who want to repent. But if you are not ready, you better back out of the state.
Member representing Akankpa 1, Mr. Okono Wuna, said one of their duties is to ensure that the state is free from insecurity.
Like Udu said, he has given room for amnesty. All the bad guys who are in the cliques, the criminals, the kidnappers, and all kinds of guys, for them to turn a new leaf and come back, let government see what they can do for them. They are giving them a window for amnesty. And those who don't want to change, they should cross it to bridge, leave Cross River State. So if at this point anybody is not willing to heed to the Excellency directives for Cross River State to have peace, the House of Assembly will come up with enabling laws that would spell out penalties, stringent penalties for criminals in Cross River State.
Others charged the 10th Assembly to ensure that there's peace in the state.
Those things that were abandoned, we are going to embark on it. Kidnapping and robbery, we will not allow. Cultism, we don't want it in this government. War, all this intertribal war, we want to stop it because it's not giving our state a good name. So we are so much for the people of Cross River.
I, as the leader, will be the mover of all his bills that will be coming to the assembly. And so I will move those bills, and by the grace of God, I will ensure that.
For CRBC News Panorama, I am Precious Sam.
Environmental degradation has over the years continued to pose great danger to lives and properties of residents of affected environments. Oftentimes, life and properties worth millions of nairas are destroyed by ravaging gullies. To assuage to the plight of the affected people, Governor Bassey Edet and his deputy, Right Honorable Peter Odey, went on the spot inspection of some affected areas in the metropolis. The reports. The governor, Senator Bassey Edet, has called on World Bank intervention to assist the state in addressing erosion and other environmental issues in the state. The governor made the plea during an on-the-spot inspection of some erosion sites in the metropolis. Inspecting some of the erosion sites at Lebna Road, Federal Agriculture, a failed drainage and a position of the convert along Yellow Duke Road in Calabar South, Governor too expressed concern at the danger posed to residents of the affected area and pledges to carry out intervention to safeguard the lives and property of the citizens. Senator Otu, accompanied by his deputy, Peter Odey, and other top governmental officials, said despite the paucity of funds, his administration will explore a more permanent intervention to address environmental degradation.
The ravine here is quite deep. I don't think we should allow something like this in the middle of the town. I mean, looking at it, I know that it must have consumed a lot of people's residence, and life is basically threatened. So it's actually an emergency site that something has to be done. But good enough, the World Bank has it in one of the programs which I intend to follow up. That informed my coming here to check, to look at it, how it is now, whether the drawings on the table actually fit the drawings that are here on ground. But I believe that we have to do something about it for people here to be safe. Something has to be done.
For CRBC News Panorama, Josephine Efanga reporting. The recent global estimate indicates that the number of children in child labor has increased to 160 million worldwide. 8.4 million children in the last 4 years, 63 million girls and 97 million boys were in child labor globally at the beginning of 2020. Accordingly, almost 1/10 of all children worldwide. Blessing Bassey went round Calabar metropolis.
Every child born into the society is entitled to be catered for by their parents or guidance and live a life devoid of early struggles. But life situations have made it unbearable for some parents and guidance who are unable to provide the necessary needs for their children, hence introducing them to child labor. Child labor is detrimental to the psychosocial development of children in the society and is a form of child abuse that could expose them to other abuses. On this note, the World Day Against Child Labor was initiated and observed annually on June 12 to serve as a catalyst for the growing worldwide movement against child labor. Child street hawking, sexual exploitation, domestic violence, debt bondage, and slavery have always been the different forms of child labor that has been in existence for quite some time and has continued to affect especially the educational development of children. The theme for this year's World Day Against Child Labor is Social Justice for All, End Child Labor, and it aims to explore the connection between social justice and the eradication of child labor, as well as how this effort contributes to advancing social justice. The purpose of the day is to educate the public on issues of concern, to mobilize political will and resources to address the global problems associated with child labor, as well as reinforce achievement of humanity. Ordinarily, one would have expected that the major street, market, and even worship centers would be devoid of children selling various items, especially sachet waters, during school hours. But reverse is the case, as these children engage in child labor to assist their parents in raising money for their upkeep.
I'm my cousin.
What class are you?
My 2.
Eh?
My 2.
You didn't go to school today, why?
I'm saying no get money to buy fish.
It's just only today that I just took my step here. That's the best on that.
My mom has money to put me for school.
Though some frown at the habit of parents who still send their children to such ventures and blame the trend on lack of unemployment and family planning, the question is, who is to be blamed? Is it the parents who are unable to provide for their children? Is it their caregivers who purposely send children out to hawk on the street, or even the children who sometimes are defiant to the advice of their parents? Let's hear from respondents who bear their minds on the issues.
The ministry in charge, the Women Affairs Ministry, should actually take the bull by the horn and make an effective use of its office. And also the NGO, they should wake up and do more.
Free education. And then if you arrest the parents cannot send their children to school because the government has already employed what they call free education.
A lot of parents are jobless, and that one is causing inability to take care of their children. Another thing I think about is childbirth. They should reduce birth rates. If you find out, you see that those of them that are unemployed, people that are lazy, people that are not doing anything, are those that even have much children in the streets.
The elimination of child labour in May focuses on social protection as a key policy to kickstart again the progress of past decades. Universal social protection is particularly powerful when coverage stretches across the life cycle, from child, maternity and family benefits to unemployment support, old age pensions and health care. Structured like this, it can help families cope with economic or health shocks without having to put their children into work. Policymakers need to create social protection systems that reach all children, and in particular those more vulnerable to child labour. These systems need to be put in place alongside measures to ensure decent work for adults and quality education for all children.
According to available statistics, 160 million children are still engaged in child labor. That is almost 1 in 10 children worldwide, which is why the World Day Against Child Labor is observed to create more awareness on child labor and eradication of the menace. For CRBC News Panorama, Blessing Bassey reporting.
That is all we have on our lineup. We hope to be back same time next week. I am Josephine Efanga.